box of items here. It looks professional, feels nice in the hand as well. What do you think? Oh, hello. Welcome. How can I help you? You're here looking for a custom Pokemon card deck. Well, you're in luck. This is the TCG shop. Let me go ahead and get my notepad here so that I can write down a few of your details for the specifics regarding your deck that you would like built. Just bear with me. One moment. Alright, so first thing I need, what type of deck would you like built? Would you like a partial deck, adding cards to a existing deck that you brought with you? Or would you like a fresh deck built from the bottom up? Alright, a complete build. Alright, and with this complete build, is there any particular use or event that you are building this deck for? Okay, a holiday party. Okay, and what kind of party? Is there a theme or anything that we can build the theme of the deck around? Alright, so it is a Halloween party. At the Saffron City Gym. Okay, a Halloween party at the Saffron City Gym. That's great. Will Sabrina be attending? Perfect. Alright, so are you an employee at the gym or just a frequent visitor? Okay, somewhere in between. That's perfect. I'm going to put VIP guest just to kind of jazz up the ideas that we have. Alright, so we are looking for a complete build for a holiday Halloween party at the Saffron City Gym. Sabrina will be in attendance, and we are building it for a guest to the party. Yourself. Perfect. Now, would you like to have your deck built on the economy side of our prices, where we still have great quality, but we look to save you a bit? Or are you looking for our premium service in which we spare no expense for your deck? Alright, somewhere in the middle. Perfect. I think I have a few creative ideas specific for your Halloween party that might help you save a bit here and there. So we will just go medium price. Alright, so I think I have all of the details that I am looking for. Are you wanting specific cards to be added, or would you like me to build the deck myself and bring you the cards for you to look over and approve before purchasing? Alright, well, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think I have the perfect type of deck in mind. So just bear with me one moment. Alright, I have what I believe is a wonderfully unique deck, but specific to the Halloween party at your Saffron City Gym. And I think this deck will psychic Pokemon type gym leader, but also make it very competitive to any of her grunts or gym trainers that are looking to move up the ranks. Perhaps that person might be you. Maybe you will receive that promotion that you've been hoping to get, or maybe you'll just receive your very first invitation to work at the gym. Who knows? But I think you'll like the cards I have. I'm going to begin by just showing you the basic Pokemon in the deck. These Pokemon are cards that are easy to use from the beginning of the game and can offer you quick attacks and make sure that you don't have a loss due to the inability to have any Pokemon left to battle. So I'm going to start with those. We first have the wonderful Sabrina's Drowsy. Sabrina's Drowsy is a 50 HP Pokemon. It's a little bulky for a basic, which offers great early game survivability, as well as some great support, as well as attacks with that nice 20 damage with only the need for 1 psychic energy in order to use both attacks. So this pairs nicely with Pokemon of, or I guess Pokemon decks of other types. So a nice basic to get you started. So I will set that. Let's set that right here. Perfect. Alright, so I do have 3 of those Drowsies there. That way you have a decent chance of using them early on in the game. Next, I have a nice Sabrina's Porygon. Sabrina's Porygon is a bit more light in the HP, as you can see, only 40 there. But with the colorless energy requirements for Sharp Point and Barrier Attack, this Pokemon pairs nicely if you would like to swap it in or out of any of your other decks. So I think it's a jack of all trades, for lack of better terms, and I think that not only will it pair nicely with this deck, but I think that it will pair nicely with any of your others. So multiple uses there, which might save you some money down the road. So I do have 3 of those Pokemon there. Those are your only basic Pokemon in your deck that do not evolve into a more powerful Pokemon later on. So the next and first of your evolutionary basic Pokemon, your Sabrina's Ghastly. Ghastly, of course, is a low HP Pokemon, but the point of using this Sabrina's Ghastly is in order to evolve it into a Sabrina's Haunter. So you want to save this Pokemon card for a time in which you know that you have that Haunter in your hand. So that's where you want to use your Sabrina's Porygon or Drowsy, and make sure that you power this Pokemon up on your bench before utilizing it that way, or evolve it before making it your active Pokemon. Of course, if you do have to utilize this Pokemon in an underpowered or under-energied circumstance, then it does have 2 attacks, Lick and Fade Out, which Lick can cause paralysis as well as 10 damage, so it does have just a bit of bite if you are forced to use it early. I do have 4 of those cards there. That way, since this is one of your primary Pokemon, you have a great chance of drawing it early and utilizing it. With that said, what you are really looking for is Sabrina's Haunter. Sabrina's Haunter is much more powerful with 70 HP, as you can see there, as well as Nightmare, which immediately and guarantees a sleep condition for the opponent, as well as 20 damage as any benched Pokemon, choose one of them, and this attack does 30 damage to it. Now what that means is you can pick off Pokemon on your opponent's bench without having to, let's say, force them to switch in or knock out your opponent's active Pokemon first. So it's a great utility card and quite fun. We do have 3 of those cards, 2 here and 1 here. That way we once again have great opportunities to eventually land on Sabrina's Gengar. As you can see, Sabrina's Gengar has 90 HP and has some very competitive attacks, dealing both 20 and 40 damage. This is one of your ace Pokemon in this deck, and you want to try to make sure that you either utilize and leave a Ghastly on the bench that you can fully apply energies to, and make sure you save as much HP on that Ghastly or your Sabrina's Haunter until you have drawn this Sabrina's Gengar. That way you can apply it to your active slot and go ahead and deal that sneaky and ghostly damage to your opponent. And I think they will be not only frightened of your potential, but frightened of how cool your cards are in this deck. So one of your ace Pokemon, only one, unfortunately for that card, since they can be quite expensive. Your next evolutionary basic Pokemon is Sabrina's Abra. Once again on the lower HP side, so you want to utilize similar strategies as you do with your Ghastly. But once again, we do have some nice attacks there if we are forced to use this card a bit earlier than we would otherwise. Like, we do have 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, we have 2 separate variations of Sabrina's Abra. So this second variation is a little bit more viable for early game use. So let's say you draw 2 Sabrina's Abra early in the game and you need to choose one of them to be your active Pokemon. You want to go with the 50 HP Sabrina's Abra, since it does have just a bit more survivability. Okay, so we have 2 of each, so you can kind of build your decision making around whichever one you draw first. And just like our Sabrina's Haunter, we have a Sabrina's Kadabra with 70 HP, so it doesn't matter which of your Sabrina's Abra that you choose, they both evolve into the same Sabrina's Kadabra. So that kind of sets your mind at ease if you can't make up which one you would like to use. We have some nice attacks here with a straight Psyshot. If you, let's say, don't like Pokemon with too many alterations or additions to their attack, this is just a straightforward 30 damage, which is great. And we have 2 of those Sabrina's Kadabras there, leading to the ultimate ace in your deck and your Hollow Foil card. Of course, every deck that we build comes with at least 1 Hollow Foil, unless you go for the ultra premium editions of our decks, and then sometimes we will add multiple Hollow Foils depending on what your price points and your budget allows. But since you would like to stay somewhere in the middle, we went with the non-Hollow Foil Gengar to save you a bit, and went with your 80 HP Sabrina's Alakazam. That card is beautiful, isn't it? And as you can see, the Mega Burn 60 damaging attack is quite the heavy hitter, and I think since, of course, Sabrina does favor her Kadabra and her Alakazam, she will be very impressed. And of course, as you can see, since you are going to a party at the Saffron City Gym, I had to go with the Sabrina set that we carry here in store. This was a famous set to commemorate the wonderful and powerful Sabrina, and I know she will appreciate the nice reference to her greatness. So it's subtle, but it speaks to your admiration of her. Now, those are all of Saffron City Gym. If I was attending a party at the Saffron City Gym, I would, of course, come prepared to have the gym itself as one of my cards. And what else but the gym leader herself, Sabrina. Of course, they do have the holofoil version of this card available, but once again, with the budget and limitations, I went with the non-holofoil edition. It has the same effects and it doesn't affect the usefulness of the card, but like I stated before, I think Sabrina will be really impressed with this. Okay, that's great. And then, since this is a psychic only deck, we do have our psychic energy cards. Is there anything that you would like to change about the cards we've added to the deck before we move on to your other items in the deck? Alright, well, I'm always happy to hear that you are pleased with the deck selections. I always like to leave the Ace Pokemon on top so that it's the first card that you are privileged enough to see when you open your deck or go to show it to someone else. Alright, well, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to some of our more exciting options. We want to now select things like damage counters. We have multiple options. We have card sleeves, we have deck boxes, and many others. What types of budgetary limitations would you like to apply to these items as well? Would you like me to try to save a bit on some of these extra items, or since we saved some on the cards, would you like to go all out with the items here? Okay, so still save just a bit, not a problem. But I think I have some ideas since you are attending a Halloween party after all. I have a couple of ideas that will allow us to stand out, but still keep our spending a bit lower. How does that sound? Alright, let's do it. Give me one moment. So, we do have our box of items here. What we keep here are all of our dice options for our damage counters, as well as our coins, our card sleeves, and our status condition markers. And I have some exciting ideas for you that I think you will really like. So let's go ahead and open up the lid. Now inside, let's see here. Let's start with our damage counters. Let's see if yes. So I'm going to offer you two options here. Since we are going for a ghostly psychic deck for Sabrina's gym, I'm going to offer you two shades of purple. So there we are, and here. So I do have both of these options here. We have a darker purple as well as a lighter, almost magenta pink, but I think both pair nicely with your psychic ghost deck, and I think both colors will match nicely with Sabrina's overall aesthetic of her gym. So what do you think? I also do, if either of those options suit you, I do have a nice black, almost smoky gray color of dice if you would just like to go for the very dark look to kind of contrast with your purple. I think that might be nice, or look nice as well. So what do you think? Alright, so you would like to go with the dark purple. That's perfect. Okay. So I will go ahead and get all of those organized for you. think that's a great decision. I don't think you'll be very disappointed there. Alright, so let's set that there for a moment. So we do have your dice here. As you can see, it does come with the 6 dice. Now these damage counters are more of our premium option. Like you said, you wanted a bit of both, so I decided to go premium with your damage counters just because it's a great way to add a splash of color to your deck. And I just feel like it always looks professional, nice, and it just presents yourself and your Pokemon card deck in a very nice way. So, what do you think? And as you can see, I think the colors really match nicely. It's a great pairing, and I think you've made a great selection there. So, alright, let's set that to the side. Wow, yes, that really looks great. It really captures that dark purple there. I think that's just excellent. And the gold lettering looks nice with the yellow on the edge of the cards. So with that said, let's go ahead and look now at our coin. I do have several good options here. I think we should go a bit premium on the coin as well, if that's okay. I have a great option here on top. Let me see what you think. I do have a nice metallic coin. It is an Ariados, which I feel like says Halloween without being too overstated. For example, if we utilized a ghost on the coin, we already have ghost in our deck, so I feel like it might be a bit too much, but if we have some psychic types in here and some ghost, we have a nice purple set of dice. I feel like if we go with a spider type Pokemon on the coin, it kind of ties the full Halloween feel and vibe together with the rest of our cards. And that premium coin always just feels so nice when you have to flip for one of your attacks or status conditions or anything like that. And once again, just looks professional, feels nice in the hand as well. What do you think? I love your enthusiasm. Alright, next up, your status condition markers. Now, where was that? So we've went premium on your first 2 items here. Now, let's save you just a bit of money, but I have a fun idea that I think ordinarily might not work as well, but since it is a Halloween party, I think it's going to be perfect. So let me see if I can find it here. Alright, so traditionally we have our premium option burn and poison condition marker. As you can hear, that nice acrylic type of material really holds up well, but they are a bit more expensive. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we went for some small crystals that match your traditional color scheme of your acrylic status condition markers? We have a nice red for your burn and a green for your poison. I think that it really feels Halloween and will, I believe, make you stand out and be a very unique look for your deck, and I know it will catch a few eyes and perhaps start a few conversations last thing that we should do before we get to the deck box is your card sleeves. I have a few options I'd like to run by you. Let's see. There we are. So we have a nice matte black as well as a wonderful matte purple. So both of these sleeve packs have more than enough to sleeve your deck, so you will have a lot left over. Of course, when you purchase a deck here, you get all of these sleeves in the back, so you can sleeve some of your decks or cards at home, so it's a great budget-friendly item. So we have the purple and we have the black. The purple, of course, does match your cards and your dice very well, but if I do say so myself, the black also has a very sharp and striking contrast to that purple, similar to the look that we saw with the black dice. So this is a tough decision because I think both look really good, but if it was me, I think I would go with the black just because, once again, the Halloween kind of vibe that you're going for, and look how well it just makes those status condition markers pop. But I don't think you can go wrong with the purple either. It's really just a matter of taste. So which of the two would you like? Alright, you are going to go with the black. I think that's a great decision there, and I don't think you'll regret it. I didn't want to push too far, but I really did think that it was the right decision, so I'm glad that you made it. So we will set that to the side. Now the last thing is our deck box, and since we have Wind Premium on everything except our status condition markers, I think I can save you quite a bit by avoiding our premium deck boxes, but still getting you something that pops and is a bit more than just your traditional soft box. Alright, so just bear with me. I'm going to give you 3 options here. Alright, once again, I think this is going to be fun. Since we are at a Halloween party, we have our crystals, we have our dark and purple aesthetic and color scheme. I think it would be cool if we went to the party instead of a traditional deck box. We have a nice pouch to keep our cards in. I thought you might like that. This pouch will not only house our cards and our items, but will look a bit more spooky and almost ritualistic, which will, I think, pair nicely with the theme of the party, and will no doubt catch the eye of any of the other trainers or Sabrina herself. So we do have a nice, almost dragon skin pouch. We have a wonderful black felt, which I do think does match well. The purple, or the yellow rather, is a bit off in shading, but it can be absolutely perfect. But I think it's still fairly good there. And we do have the traditional burlap, if you would like something a bit more rugged. So we do have these 3 options. We have the let's get this sleeving process started for you. I like to get each of the cards nicely sleeved and prepared for play. That way, you can utilize the deck as soon as possible, and it protects your cards as you take them home. So just bear with me and these suffer wear and tear over time, because I have a feeling that you will be using this deck more than once. I know I would. Alright, there we are, nice and sleeved with some extra sleeves to spare. So let's get everything backed up for you and get you on your way. Alright, let's go ahead and get everything in the bag. I'm going to go ahead and place your Alakazam at the front of the deck. That's always such a great sound. The sound of a freshly sleeved deck. I just really enjoy it. So let's get that with your extra sleeves here in the bag. And these pouches, while not as snug as a traditional deck box, they are just small